This is Earl Amin with the 2020 Foresight Podcast, where CEOs of small to global companies share their insights. It is 6 questions in 9 minutes because top CEOs know how to listen and be concise. So let's get to it. Question number 1. In just a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Well, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. My name is Judy Feldhausen, and my company is the Cardio Wellness Group. We help individuals achieve elite health. We work with medical practitioners and directly with customers with FDA medical approved devices and nutraceuticals that are actually in the physician's desk reference.
Very good. Question number 2. What's the best thing about being the CEO?
Well, there's so many things, but I'll just tell you a couple that I know. And that is, I have a purpose that I have found for my life, and it gets me to fulfill my purpose about reaching 1 million people around their cardiovascular health and to prevent and reverse heart disease. So that's so often. I get to be in control of that vision. And, as a CEO, you get to work the hours you want. Now, sometimes they're not regular hours. Sometimes they're late at night, early in the morning, and on weekends. But nevertheless, I get to take the time off when I want to also.
Excellent and true. Question number 3. I hear from other CEOs that leading their team and being able to see the road ahead can be a challenge. What are your thoughts?
That has never been truer than in the last year. I mean, a lot of us had some amazing future planned for us, and with all the quarantines and the virus and just everything that happened with shutdowns, we may not have reached our particular goals, but that doesn't mean that we can't reach our overall vision. And I believe as a CEO, the responsibility with our teams is to really create a level of trust and to value the input that our employees have, that our customers have. When I was really young, I worked for a Fortune 100 company, and I just had this little job in customer service. And the CEO made it a regular thing to come and visit me and find out what I was doing, what my challenges were, and what my input was. Do you know that I found that I wasn't making the best money in that company, but I really valued him and what he was doing with me, this little person in the company. And that really gave me my vision of how I wanted to act as a CEO in my company, because we need to listen and lead with heart and make sure that we're asking questions of everyone in the company, no matter what their position is.
Well said. Question number 4, which I think you poured into somewhat. What piece of insight do you want to share with other CEOs?
Well, I believe as a CEO, one of the first things you need to discover is really what your why is, because even if things happen like viruses and shutdowns, that if we know what our why is, we can overcome the hurdles of the what. Now, maybe the things that we're doing don't happen exactly the way we planned. I mean, I used to go into physicians' offices and do cardiovascular screenings, and all of a sudden physician offices were closed. So I had to find another way to get my device out to medical practitioners. So I'm now selling the device instead of servicing the doctor. So, it's really about not so much the what you do at first, it's the why you're doing, and then the how you're doing it. And then at the end, you add the what.
Very good. Question number 5. What other successful CEOs like yourself would you like to acknowledge and should be on my podcast?
Well, I'm lucky enough to be in an organization that is a CEO to CEO organization. And that really is, going back to the last question, one of the things that I would suggest that a CEO gets to talk with their peers. in whatever way they can, because we are not alone. And so this organization is amazing. And I have made some of my best friends through this organization. And one of the people that I met, her name is Carol Wozniak, and she has a vision to start a school in Fiji because of some personal happenstances in her life. And she's been able to meet the president of Fiji through this organization. And so she's just had a hard road to get to where she is, and she's succeeding, and she's really a person that I admire.
Very good. Now for the final question, question number 6. How do you celebrate a win?
Oh my gosh. So, that is such a fun thing to do. And so my previous job as a life coach, that was one of the things that I made sure that my clients did on a daily basis, was to really be grateful for everything positive that happened in the day. So we don't have to celebrate the big wins, but we can celebrate the minor victories. And those minor victories are going to help feed our passion and motivate us to get us to the next level. But as something big, I like to spend time in Colorado. I'm in Chicago. I like to spend time in Colorado with my 3 grandchildren and my son-in-law and daughter, and just enjoy nature. That to me is just so amazing.
Awesome. Well, Judy, it's been a great pleasure having you on today. Tell us, how can people find you?
Well, thanks so much for asking. Actually, my company is the Cardio Wellness Group, and that is my website, www.cardiowellnessgroup.com. You can reach me through the site, or you can dial directly on my 800 number, which is 800-957-8946. And I appreciate being able to talk to anyone. Even on my website, there's a place that you can put a spot on my calendar for a 15-minute consultation. I welcome anybody to do that.
Excellent. This is Earl Amin with the 2020 Foresight Podcast. For more insights, go to LinkedIn and search for The Gray Owl Company. Judy, thank you very much.
Thank you.